Surgical management. Surgery plays a central role in the management of breast cancer. There has been a general de-escalation towards more conservative techniques, backed up by clinical trials and meta-analyses showing equal efficacy in locoregional cancer control and survival between mastectomy and WLE, BCS followed by radiotherapy. The aim of surgery is to remove all disease in the breast and axilla with negative margins. The pathologist reports the distance of the tumor to the nearest excision margin in the breast specimen. Indelible India ink is applied on the specimen surfaces. There should be no tumor cells on the cut edge or ink margins of the tumor for invasive cancer. However, in patients with DCIS a minimum of 2 mm is considered a safe margin. Early breast cancer, stages 0, I, 2. The surgical options for the primary tumor include mastectomy or BCS. Mastectomy is indicated for large tumors, in relation to the size of the breast, multicentric disease, diffuse microcalcification on a mammogram indicative of DCIS, BRCA positive cancers, local recurrence following BCS or the patient's preference. It entails removal of the entire breast tissue, including the skin over the tumor, the nipple areolar complex and the axillary tail. The breast tissue usually extends to a point where the anterior premammary fascia fuses with the posterior pectoral fascia. Therefore, the surgeon should remove the breast to the point of fusion between these two fasciae, which usually extends to the level of the second rib above, to the peristernal edge medially, to the inframammary crease below and to the anterior border of latissimus dorsi laterally. This is different from the traditional view of raising facts up to the inferior border of the clavicle superiorly and 2–3 cm below the inframammary crease, or up to the upper F-bus of the external oblique muscle, rectus abdominis, inferiorly. The radical mastectomy, Halsted, included excision of the breast, all the axillary lymph nodes and both the pectoralis major and minor muscles. It is rarely indicated as it causes excessive morbidity owing to the limitation in movement at the shoulder joint, extensive upper limb lymphedema, pain and chest wall deformity with no survival benefit compared with less radical surgery. The mode of radical mastectomy, MRM, entails mastectomy along with removal of the level 1, 2 and 3 axillary lymph nodes. Skin and nipple sparing mastectomy is an option in DCIS and early breast cancers where mastectomy is indicated and the tumor is greater than 1 cm away from the skin and greater than 2 cm away from the nipple. The breast may then be reconstructed using autologous tissue fat or a silicone breast implant. Breast conservation surgery, BCS, is aimed at removing the tumor along with a 1 cm margin of normal breast tissue. It is important to orient the surgical specimen with sutures, long lateral, L, for lateral, and short superior, S, for superior. This is important if one or more margins is positive on histological examination. Patients with involved margins should have a revision of margins called a cavity shave. All patients with BCS receive radiotherapy. BCS together with radiotherapy is called breast conservation therapy, BCT, BCS plus RT equals BCT. BCS is, however, best avoided in patients with a multicentric tumor, diffuse microcalcifications on a mammogram, a large tumor to breast ratio, 2 times positive surgical margins after re-excision, a history of previous breast or chest wall radiation, systemic lupus erythematosus or other collagen vascular disease. These patients have a high risk of a radiation reaction or ankylosing spondylitis. It is also best avoided in those with severe orthopnea, as the patient cannot lie on the radiation table. Wide local excision, WLE, of up to 20% of the breast. Volume can be achieved by excision of the tumor with adequate margins and closure of the defect by approximation of the breast tissue with absorbable sutures. Volume loss greater than 20% or an unfavorable breast-to-tumor ratio requires an oncoplastic procedure to FLL the defect so created by mobilizing the breast tissue. Oncoplasty is defined as tumor excision with wide margins followed by repair of the defect by local rearrangement, replacement of the breast tissue and the nipple areolar complex to maintain shape and symmetry. This may be achieved by volume displacement, level 1, figures 58.30 and 58.31, or by volume replacement using a distant or local FAP, level 2, figure 58.32, summary box. Surgery for the axilla. The role of axillary surgery is to stage the patient, sentinel lymph node biopsy, SLNB, and to treat disease by axillary lymph node dissection, ALND, for patients with positive axillary nodes, 58.8. Sentinel lymph node biopsy. Sentinel means a guard. Like a guard, the FRST echelon level of axillary lymph nodes is located at the gateway of the axilla and provides information about the status of axillary node metastasis. The sentinel lymph node refers to the FRST echelon lymph node in the axilla draining the breast. The sentinel lymph node is identified by the injection of a blue dye, patent blue or methylene blue, and radioisotope technetium-99 meters labeled albumin, sulfur colloid, antimony in the breast. The fluorescent dyes. Fluorescein or indocyanine green can be used if radioisotope is not available. The combination of fluorescein and methylene blue can detect sentinel nodes with greater than 90% identification. Indocyanine green can detect sentinel nodes with 95 to 100% identification. The dye may be injected into the peritumoral tissue or the periareolar, subareolar or intradermal plane. The traces passes through lymphatics to the sentinel node and is detected visually as a blue-colored node and or a hot node, radioactive, with a handheld gamma-ray detection probe or as a fluorescent node with blue light, 480 nanometers for fluorescein, or infrared light, 780 nanometers for indocyanine green, figure 58.33. The ex vivo count of the hot lymph nodes is noted. All lymph nodes with greater than 10% of the ex vivo count of the hottest node and blue lymph nodes are removed and sent for histological confirmation of nodal metastasis. This may be done with frozen section analysis, touch imprint cytology or by molecular methods, GeneSearch breast lymph node assay. These methods involve homogenizing the node and detecting a gene expression of cytokeratin 19 or mammoglobin by RT-PCR. Frozen section evaluation of sentinel nodes has a false negative rate of 10 to 12%. Wherever the facility for frozen section is not available, the sentinel node should be sent for formalin-preserved paraffin section processing and hematoxylin and eosin staining. SLNB is contraindicated in patients with inflammatory breast cancer and in those with T4 disease or a history of previous breast or chest wall surgery, breast scarring, burns, or radiotherapy. Axillary lymph node dissection. This is indicated for staging and local disease control in patients with axillary lymph node positive tumors that are clinically and or biopsy proven non-palpable nodes and those with 3 or more sentinel lymph nodes that are positive for macrometastasis. ALND requires careful anatomical dissection to protect the axillary vein, thoracodorsal vessels, medial and lateral pectoral nerves, intercostobrachial nerves and the long thoracic and thoracodorsal nerves. The intercostobrachial nerve may be divided in the presence of heavy nodal burden to achieve oncological clearance. Level 1 and 2 nodes are routinely removed, figure 58.34. Level 3 axillary dissection is reserved for patients who have enlarged level 1 and 2 lymph nodes. Waking up after surgery with a breast mound. Some women may prefer to undergo delayed reconstruction 6 to 12 months after completion of breast reconstruction. Immediate breast reconstruction offers the advantage of women waking up after surgery with a breast mound. Some women may prefer to undergo delayed reconstruction 6 to 12 months after completion of their adjuvant treatment. Immediate reconstruction can be performed using silicone gel breast implants or autologous tissue. Silicone gel implants can be placed superficial to propectoral or underneath. Subpectoral, the pectoralis major muscle. The tissue FAPS 4 hours. The treatment algorithm for breast reconstruction is commonly used. Commonly used include the latissimus dorsi, figure 58.35. The transverse rectus abdominis myocutaneous, TRAM. The anterolateral thigh and the deep inferior. Epigastric perforator, deep, free tissue transfers. The deep F-app is commonly used in the UK. It requires, to achieve symmetry of microvascular surgical skills in an operative time of about four hours. The treatment algorithm for breast reconstruction is set out in figure 58.38. Radiotherapy after insertion of a silicone prosthesis often leads to a high incidence of capsular contracture and ANAC. Acceptable results. Requires, to achieve symmetry after breast reconstruction or BCS. The opposite breast may require a cosmetic procedure such as reduction or augmentation mammoplasty or mastopexy. The patient needs to be informed that she may require more than one procedure for symmetrization. Surgical options for locally advanced breast cancers, stages EA, IIIB, following NACT patients should be offered the option of mastectomy or BCS, if suitable, figure 58.38. Patients with initial skin or chest wall involvement and those with inflammatory carcinoma should undergo MRM, 58.9. The role of SLNB in patients with CT3N0 disease in those who become a number of trials. A high false negative rate, greater than 10%, has been reported. This can be reduced if at least 3 sentinel nodes are removed using dual traces or using targeted SLNB. In the targeted technique, a metal clip or permanent India ink is applied to a positive node prior to NAST. During surgery after NAST, the node containing the clip or India ink is removed along with SLNB. Adjuvant treatment radiotherapy. Radiotherapy is shown to decrease the risk of locoregional and systemic recurrence and improve survival. The indications include the following: filled circle patients with locally advanced breast cancers T3, T4, N1, N2, N3 disease. Figure 58.36 transverse. Following BCS. After mastectomy, if filled circle tumor size is greater than or equal to 5 cm, skin or chest wall involvement, lymphovascular invasion, LVI, grade 3. Filled circle axillary lymph node positive for metastasis. In pathologically lymph node negative tumors, radiotherapy after BCS is given to the breast only as a dose of 45-50.4 grays, with or without a boost, delivered in 25 fractions, or of 40-42.5 grays delivered in 15 or 16 fractions, hypofractionation. In patients after mastectomy, T3N0M0, chest wall radiotherapy is given if the sentinel lymph nodes are negative. In patients with lymph node positive disease, locoregional radiotherapy is given covering the chest wall, supraclavicular region, internal mammary nodes and the axilla. The axilla should not be irradiated after axillary node dissection, as this increases the risk of lymphedema. Accelerated partial breast irradiation, APBI, is a modality of radiotherapy for selected patients meeting the following. Criteria: American Society for Radiation Oncology ABPI Guidelines, 2016. Women 50 years or older with T1 disease and negative resected margins with a margin width of is greater than or equal to 2 mm, invasive ductal carcinoma, no LVI, ER positive, BRCA negative and sentinel node negative. Women 50 years or older with low-risk DCIS, screen detected, low, intermediate nuclear grade, tumor size is less than or equal to 2.5 cm, negative resected margin width is greater than or equal to 3 mm. The tumor bed is irradiated along with a narrow rim of surrounding tissue so as to avoid the potentially harmful effects of irradiation on healthy tissue. It is delivered twice daily for 5 days. Adjuvant systemic therapy. The purpose of adjuvant systemic therapy is to control putative micrometastasis, delay relapse and prolong survival. The results of many international clinical trials, including National Surgical Adjuvant Breast and Bowel Project, NSABP, trials and the Oxford Overview meta-analyses by the Early Breast Cancer Trialist Collaborative Group, EBCTCG, demonstrate the benefit of chemotherapy in improving relapse-free survival by approximately 30% and overall survival by 10% at 15 years. Chemotherapy. This is the most common systemic treatment for breast cancer. The following regimens are used: filled circle cyclophosphamide, C, methotrexate, M, and 5-fluorouracil, F, CMF. Filled circle anthracycline-based regimens: CAF-A, adriamycin, doxorubicin, CEF, A, epirubicin. Filled circle taxane, docetaxel, paclitaxel-based regimens. Adjuvant chemotherapy is indicated for all invasive carcinomas greater than 1 cm in diameter, tumors greater than 0.5 cm with poor prognostic factors: presence of LVI, high grade, HER2, NOI positive, TNBC, and node positive tumors. Currently, decisions to administer chemotherapy as well as to choose a particular regimen are based on tumor stage, tumor biology and discussion with the patient and/or caregiver in an MDT. Gene signature panels help in assessing the benefit of chemotherapy in low-risk tumors, i.e., ER positive, HER2, NOI negative and node negative tumors. The risk of recurrence, ROR, scores include Oncotype DX, 21 gene recurrence score, Prasina PAM50, breast cancer prognostic gene signature, and Mammoprint 70 gene breast cancer recurrence assay. Oncotype DX is the most widely used ROR score and measures the expression of 16 cancer-related genes and FVE reference genes on paraffin-embedded tumor tissue. The assay classifies the ROR score as low, less than 18, moderate, 19 to 30, or high, greater than 30. In patients with a low ROR score, chemotherapy can be avoided. In patients with endocrine-responsive breast cancer, those with luminal tumors may avoid chemotherapy if they have a low-risk score on Oncotype DX and/or clinical risk assessment online tools, e.g. https://breast.predict.nhs.uk/tool. However, patients with a high clinical and genomic risk should be considered for chemotherapy with an anthracycline, epirubicin, or taxane-based therapy. Patients with luminal B tumors should receive an anthracycline and/or taxane-based therapy because of the greater risk of relapse. Those with HER2, NOI-positive tumors should receive trastuzumab plus pertuzumab along with chemotherapy, taxane plus anthracycline, while those with triple-negative tumors should receive chemotherapy, taxane plus anthracycline. Carboplatin-based regimens may be beneficial for tumors with aggressive biology. Targeted therapy. The monoclonal antibody trastuzumab, Herceptin, is effective against the HER2, NOI receptor. It is used along with pertuzumab to treat HER2, NOI positive. Tumors along with chemotherapy. The cytotoxic agent, TDM1 is used in HER2, NOI positive disease. A chemotherapy agent, emtansine, is conjugated to trastuzumab to allow targeted delivery of the chemotherapy to HER2 positive cells. Hormone therapy. The selective estrogen receptor modulator tamoxifen and aromatase inhibitors, anastrozole, letrozole, exemestane, are used for hormonal therapy in breast cancer. In premenopausal patients only tamoxifen is used for 5 years in low-risk patients and for 10 years in patients with a high risk of relapse, node-positive, tumor greater than 5 cm, LVI. Aromatase inhibitors are used in postmenopausal women. In an adjuvant setting they have shown beneficial effect compared with tamoxifen in terms of relapse-free survival and overall survival. They are more expensive than tamoxifen and their use is associated with bone density loss and risk of fracture. A bone density scan is advised prior to commencement of treatment with aromatase inhibitors. Bisphosphonates with vitamin D and calcium are used to restore bone loss and may also reduce the risk of recurrence. Follow-up of operable breast cancer. Follow-up after initial therapy routinely includes clinical examination every 3 months for 2 years, followed by every 6 months for the next 3 years. Thereafter the follow-up is scheduled yearly. A mammogram is also scheduled yearly. Patients with an implant and those with BRCA or other genetic mutations need contrast breast MRI annually. Development of any new symptom or sign during follow-up merits detailed clinical evaluation and relevant investigation. Patients presenting with metastatic disease and those with a local, systemic recurrence are seen more frequently depending on the clinical condition. Metastatic carcinoma of the breast, stage 4. Treatment of metastatic cancer is aimed at palliating symptoms, improving quality of life, preventing potential disabling complications and attempting to prolong life. Endocrine therapy for hormone receptor-positive disease is preferred for patients with bony metastasis and limited visceral metastasis. Systemic chemotherapy is preferred for patients with hormone receptor-negative cancers, hormone refractory metastases and patients with visceral crisis. Oral low-dose metronomic chemotherapy has cytostatic and angiogenic effects and may help in improving quality of life. Patients with bony metastasis should receive palliative radiotherapy to lesions in weight-bearing areas, e.g. vertebra, femur, and to painful bony deposits, along with bisphosphonates. Symptomatic pleural effusions are palliated by intercostal chest drainage and pleurodesis. Surgical resection of metastatic lesions may be indicated in solitary visceral metastasis in patients with good performance status and favorable tumor biology. Management of local recurrence. The local recurrence should be biopsied as a change in receptor status may occur and influence further therapy. Whole body MRI or PET-CT scan should be performed to detect metastasis. Systemic chemotherapy should be followed by surgical excision. Most surgeons perform a mastectomy for recurrence. However, second BCS and re-radiotherapy may be considered. Hereditary and familial breast cancer. Hereditary breast cancer, HBC, runs in families, affecting several close relatives, and is associated with an identifiable genetic mutation. Familial breast cancer, FBC, affects several members of a family but is not attributable to any known genetic mutation. HBC accounts for 5 to 10% and FBC for 20 to 30% of all breast cancers. HBCs are more aggressive, present at an earlier age and are more often multicentric and bilateral. High penetrance mutations are found in BRCA1, BRCA2, Li-Fraumeni syndrome, Cowden syndrome, Peutz-Jeghers syndrome and hereditary gastric cancer syndrome. BRCA1, 17q21, is associated with a 50 to 85% lifetime risk of developing breast cancer and up to a 40% risk of ovarian cancer. The breast cancers in BRCA1 are mostly TNBC. BRCA2, 13q12.3, is associated with an up to 50 to 60% lifetime risk of breast cancer and a 20% risk of ovarian cancer. It is also associated with cancer of the prostate, colon, gallbladder, bile duct, stomach and pancreas. BRCA mutation is more common in males with breast cancer. Genetic risk evaluation should be considered in high-risk individuals. Summary box 58.5. Women with a BRCA mutation may be offered a bilateral risk-reducing mastectomy with immediate breast reconstruction. This reduces the risk of breast cancer by 90%. Chemoprophylaxis with tamoxifen or anastrozole may reduce the risk to 50%. Premenopausal women may be offered bilateral salpingo oophorectomy after they have completed their family at around 35 to 40 years of age.